Mr. Mayor, that concludes the proclamations on this evening's agenda. There is one more delegation listed, and it is concerning agenda item 6.8A. Paul Beach, the manager, Community Geomatics Center, Innovation Center, is in attendance concerning agenda item 6.8A.
I'd like you to read the resolution, and then I'm going to ask Councillor Brian Hayes to maybe introduce Paul and where we're at.
The report is entitled Youth Crime in Sault Ste. Marie. The motion by Councillors Hayes and Kaiko. Whereas several possible recommendations to curb youth crime have been identified as a result of the report by the Innovation Center, Community Geomatics Center, and whereas these recommendations need to be evaluated and prioritized, and whereas next possible steps identify the need for the Youth Crime Committee of Council to remain intact to complete such tasks as soliciting funding from the Government of Ontario from the Youth Crime and Violence Initiative for evaluating service programs including gaps in service and duplication, developing programs to prevent and decrease youth crime, as well as monitoring youth crime on an annual basis to determine whether or not implemented programs are successful. Now therefore be it resolved that Council endorses the continuation of the Youth Crime Committee of Council, and furthermore that Council endorses the addition of the Commissioner of Social Services and the Commissioner of Community Services as staff representation on the committee be approved. And Mr. Mayor, we are noting a pecuniary interest by Councillor Turco, spouse employed by Police Services.
All right, Councillor Hayes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll speak more to this after the presentation, but initially Paul Beach, the manager, is going to do the presentation. He didn't do all the work, but he assisted. The work was done for the most part by Kristen Hoffman and Chris Sambol in conjunction with our committee, which included myself, Pat Mick, Councillor Kaiko, and Councillor Fata. The Sault Ste. Marie Police Service were especially helpful. Carrie Scott, Inspector Dave Odell, Inspector Steve Dacey, and Chief Robert Davies. And as well, there were a number of organizations that were involved in bringing this report together, and I'm sure Paul will speak more to that as he goes along. And as Council is aware, this is a report that comes forward as a result of a resolution of Council. We commissioned the Innovation Center to do the study, and I think it was exceptionally well done, and I'm sure Council will recognize that when it's presented, and I'm sure they read the report, and we'll probably have some questions along the way. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I'm Paul Beach from the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Center, and I was going to give the presentation. The staff asked me to do it because they said I'm the face of the organization, but I prefer not to do it. I'm going to let Kristen do the presentation. She did this work, and I like for her to explain her work, and she did excellent work, and has shown herself to be a star employee, so I'm going to let her do the presentation. I'll stand by in case you get some tough questions.
Hi, everyone. Yes, so as Paul and Brian explained...
and by the way, I only told her this 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I'm a little bit unprepared, so... Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a definition of youth crime. It involves any crime committed by a person under the age of 18. Why would we track youth crime? It's important to find out where youth crime is taking place throughout the city, to analyze whether or not we have a problem with youth crime, to implement services to curb youth involvement in crime, and to compare youth crime data between years to track progress. A committee of council was formed because the municipal performance measurement report stated a 28.9% increase in youth offenders. The committee was formed to investigate the matter, and the Sault Ste. Marie Innovation Center was commissioned to do the data analysis. So there's a difference in our numbers and the municipal performance report's numbers, and there's a number of reasons. We looked at the data that was reported on by the municipal performance report, and for some reason they excluded drug crimes. The Sault Ste. Marie Police Service annual report is where the numbers were collected from, and these numbers include all types of crime If you have the youth crime report that we put together in front of you, there's a list of the types of crime that we included in this report in Appendix 1. It also comes up later in the presentation. The Sault Ste. Marie Police Service annual report also includes multiple charges. For instance, if an individual was charged with more than one count of a crime, say I was charged with 10 counts of assault, that would come up 10 times in the Sault Ste. Marie Police Services numbers, and it would come up 1 time in our report. Suspects are also included in the Sault Ste. Marie Police Service annual report. These individuals may have been innocent, and only charged persons were included in our report. Some of the maps that we did, we included base maps to show locations of potential crime, such as shopping centers, convenience stores, schools, and parks. Our census maps we included to compare against crime, so reasons why crime may have been taking place in these areas, including low income, median income, unemployment rate, lone parent families, and education levels, just to see if these socioeconomic factors have anything to do with youth crime. We mapped youth crime by offender and occurrence location, types of crime committed by youth. We picked 7 different types of crime due to the higher numbers of these types of crime we could map them. And these included assaults, break-and-enters, drug offenses, mischief, robberies, thefts, and thefts of a motor vehicle. We also mapped the change in youth crime to illustrate where areas experienced increases and decreases in youth crime within the community. So this is one of the census maps that we included. It shows income by dissemination area in Sault Ste. Marie. A dissemination area is a census boundary, so it contains about 400 to 700 people. So this is basically a neighborhood scale, and we can see the areas in Sault Ste. Marie that have the lowest income are Rankin, Garden River, our downtown area, downtown west, and a couple little spots, Boston, Breton Avenue, Chapel, Albion, Allard Street, behind the YMCA. And this is family income by DA. And we can see the same areas pop up. So these are all the types of crime that were included in our analysis. The ones in yellow are the ones that we mapped individually. This is a total of youth crime occurrences in Sault Ste. Marie between the years 2006 and 2008. The occurrence location is where the crime actually took place. This is not the offender's home location. These are the DAs where the crime occurred. So I'll just back up. This area right here contains the police station. This may be why it shows up as a higher value, because a lot of charges actually took place at the police station, and that contributes to that. This area is Zellers Plaza, Alexander Henry. This area is the Cambrian Mall, and this is the Station Mall. These are where the youth offenders actually lived. So these are the DAs where the youth offenders lived that committed these crimes. We can see this area pops up. It does have a higher population than a lot of other DAs, just because there's the Cara Community Apartments and Powatting Place in here, as well as Cambridge Place and the downtown.